When God is getting ready to bless you, things often start moving before you can explain them. Something shifts inside. Your spirit feels alert. Your heart feels pulled in a new direction. It may look like confusion on the outside, but deep down it is a holy change. Life may seem messy, yet heaven is putting things in order. What feels like breaking apart may actually be falling into place. God often clears space before He pours anything new into your life. He removes what cannot go where you are going. He shakes what is weak so what is strong can stand. And the first sign is usually discomfort. Places that once felt normal now feel empty. Conversations that once held your attention now feel dry. The habits you used to enjoy begin to trouble your peace. This is not random. This is separation. God is pulling you away from what no longer fits your future. Stay with me, because this matters. When you are called higher, average places start feeling too small for your spirit. You feel a push, a fire, a quiet voice saying there must be more than this. That is not restlessness without reason. That is a seed waking up inside you. Do not fear that discomfort. Do not run back to what once felt safe. The blessing you asked for often begins with a holy unease. Birth always comes with pressure. New life always pushes against old walls. So if comfort has started to leave you, do not panic. It may be the clearest sign yet that God is preparing to move in a way you did not expect, but in a way your soul has been waiting for all along. Then another sign shows up, and many people mistake it for loss. Isolation begins. People pull back. The messages slow down. The support you once counted on starts to fade. It feels personal. It feels painful. But often it is protection. God will sometimes quiet every other voice so you can finally hear His. He will remove hands from your life so His hand becomes clear. Not everyone around you can walk with you into your next season. Not everyone can carry the weight of what God is about to place on your life. So He creates distance, not to crush you, but to sharpen you. In that quiet place, your hearing gets stronger. Your vision gets cleaner. Your soul learns the sound of peace again. And when you are alone, you begin to notice what you missed when the room was noisy. You see motives more clearly. You spot hidden tension. You understand who was assigned to help you and who was only there to distract you. Do not rush to fill every empty seat. Do not chase every person who walks away. Some exits are answers to prayers you forgot you prayed. And if this season feels lonely, do not stop here. Keep listening. Because sometimes the blessing is built in private before it is ever seen in public. God shapes deeply in silence. He trains quietly. He prepares carefully. He hides roots before He reveals fruit. So if your world has grown quiet, do not call it the end. Call it a classroom. Call it preparation. Call it the room where heaven is teaching you how to carry what is coming without losing your balance, your faith, or your peace. Then comes a hard one. Resistance grows. Enemies seem to rise for no clear reason. People speak against you. You face misunderstanding. Pressure comes from places you did not expect. And you ask, why now? Why all this trouble at this moment? Because movement attracts warfare. Growth gets attention. Light gets noticed. If nothing valuable was in you, there would be no reason for opposition to wake up. So do not let resistance convince you that you are failing. It may be proving that you are close. Hear this clearly. The enemy does not spend energy on empty things. When your life begins to carry purpose, pressure often follows. False stories, unfair judgment, strange conflict, sudden betrayal. These things hurt, yes, but they can also train you. God uses resistance to build spiritual muscle. He lets certain battles happen so your patience can grow, your focus can sharpen, and your faith can stop depending on comfort. Watch this part. Every attack is trying to make you doubt what heaven already decided. Do not give it that power. What looks like an attempt to stop you may actually be part of what strengthens you for the next level. The larger the assignment, the deeper the preparation. The greater the weight of the blessing, the stronger your inner life must become. So when resistance rises, do not collapse into fear. Stand still, learn, grow. Let every hard moment teach you what you need before the door opens. God is not wasting the pressure. He is using it. He is shaping your response, training your heart, and building a version of you that will not break when the blessing finally arrives in full view. After that comes the test of faith. This is the stage where many people give up too early. Doors that looked ready stay shut. Prayers seem unanswered. Time passes. Nothing changes on the surface. And you begin to wonder if you missed it. But delay is not always denial. Sometimes delay is training. God is asking a deeper question in the waiting. Will you trust Him when the evidence is quiet? Will you keep believing when the room feels silent? Faith is easy when results are visible. Real faith is proven when nothing around you looks finished. This is the place where heaven refines your heart. Your motives get tested. Your trust gets tested. Your patience gets tested. And if you stay through it, something powerful happens. You stop living by panic. You stop moving by fear. You begin to rest in what God said even when you cannot yet touch it. That kind of faith changes a person. It gives strength in silence. It creates peace in delay. It builds courage in dark hours. Do not scroll past this truth in your spirit. Many blessings are lost not because they were refused by God, but because people walked away one moment before breakthrough. They stopped praying. They stopped standing. They stopped expecting. But if you keep your heart steady in the waiting, you are being made ready for more than a quick answer. You are being made ready for something that can last. God is not trying to tease you with hope. He is building a foundation under what He plans to release. So if you are in a season where nothing seems to move, do not mock the silence. Honor it. God often does His deepest work where human eyes see the least. And then something beautiful begins to happen. Clarity enters your confusion. The fog starts to lift. Thoughts that felt tangled begin to settle. Pain that once looked pointless starts making sense. You suddenly understand why some doors had to close, why some people had to leave, why some delays had to stay. This is not ordinary calm. This is spiritual sight. God opens your eyes before He opens the next door. He lets you see the lesson before He hands you the reward. And when that happens, peace enters the room. Not shallow peace, not borrowed peace, real peace. The kind that does not need perfect conditions to stay alive. You start seeing that rejection was protection, that delay was direction, that loss was preparation. And when that understanding arrives, your past stops controlling your future. You are no longer dragged by bitterness. You are no longer held by old confusion. Your soul gets lighter, your heart gets cleaner, your mind gets stronger. This is a major sign, so do not miss it. God does not bless confusion. He blesses clarity. He blesses people who can discern the lesson, not just survive the season. When you begin to understand what life was teaching you, it means you are becoming ready for what life is about to hand you. The blessing needs wisdom. It needs a heart that can recognize value, a spirit that can handle favor, and a mind that can stay clear when new doors begin to open fast. Because yes, once clarity comes, acceleration often follows, and when it does, you need to be able to move without losing your center. That is why this quiet peace matters so much. It is not a pause, it is preparation for motion. Soon after, time itself seems to shift. Things that once took forever begin to move quickly. The right people appear, the right words are spoken, the right doors start opening. The same road that once felt locked suddenly becomes clear. This is not luck, this is alignment. God knows how to restore time. He knows how to make up for seasons that felt wasted. He knows how to take years of pain and turn them into strength for one appointed moment. And when preparation is complete, movement can happen fast, very fast. What others worked decades to build may begin to rise in your life in a much shorter time, because heaven was quietly preparing the ground while you were still waiting. Do you feel that? This is where patience becomes powerful. Every delay, every setback, every closed door starts making sense when acceleration begins. You realize nothing was wasted. The tears were not wasted. The slow seasons were not wasted. The lonely nights were not wasted. All of it was training. All of it was shaping. All of it was getting you ready to carry something bigger than you first imagined. But before outer change becomes obvious, inner elevation begins. Your desires change. You crave peace more than attention. You want purpose more than appearance. You care less about proving yourself and more about being aligned. That is maturity. That is a huge sign. God always works from the inside out. He blesses the soul before He blesses the scene. He strengthens the heart before He changes the surroundings. So if your spirit has been rising, if your values are changing, if old cravings are losing their grip, do not ignore it. That inward shift is often the signal that the outward change is already on its way. Listen carefully here, because many people miss this part. Before a major blessing, God often speaks to your spirit before He speaks through your circumstances. You feel a strange calm in chaos. You sense quiet confidence even while life still looks uncertain. You cannot explain it to others, but something in you knows that you are not abandoned. That stillness is not weakness. It is faith with roots. And yet, right in that same season, your mind may become a battlefield. Doubt whispers that nothing is changing. Fear asks, what if it never happens? Old thoughts try to rise again. This is no accident. The enemy often attacks the mind just before manifestation, because if he can control your thoughts, he can delay your steps. So guard your mind, protect your inner world, speak life over your own soul, reject the voices that feed panic, choose faith on purpose. This is where many breakthroughs are either welcomed or delayed. The blessing belongs to people who learn how to stand firm inside before anything changes outside. Also remember this, God is precise. He does not move at the most comfortable time. He moves at the right time. A blessing that arrives too early can become a burden. That is why some things are held back. Not because you are forgotten, but because the gift must match your readiness. Every delay carries design. Every pause has purpose. God is aligning people, moving hearts, arranging resources, and setting the moment so that what reaches you will not be fragile. It will be built right. It will be timed right. It will be protected. So when the storm is loud, but your spirit is calm, do not call yourself foolish. Call it confirmation. Heaven may be closer than you think. You may also notice something else. In the middle of pressure, peace begins to grow. Not because everything is easy, but because your trust is getting deeper. You stop checking every clock. You stop comparing your journey to somebody else's. You begin to rest in the truth that what is meant for you cannot miss you. This kind of peace is a blessing by itself. Many people think blessing only means money, open doors, and visible success. But true blessing starts within. It begins when your soul is no longer ruled by fear. It begins when peace stays, even when the storm has not fully passed. And some of you are there right now. You are standing on the edge of breakthrough, but you are reading your test like it is failure. Do not do that. Storms are not always signs that God has stepped away. Often they are signs of transition. Wind gets stronger when something is about to lift. Resistance rises when elevation is near. Blessings are often hidden inside battles. God lets the pressure reveal what is strong in you and what still needs healing. He is not being cruel. He is being thorough. He does not want to give you something your character cannot sustain. That is why obedience matters so much. Alignment matters. Many ask for blessing while still fighting the path meant to lead them there. But God blesses surrender. He blesses faith. He blesses order. When your words, choices, and heart begin to agree with His direction, flow begins. The floodgates open. The blessing was not far away. It was waiting for alignment. And when that alignment comes, you do not have to force what is next. You walk with peace, and doors begin to answer. The final stretch before a blessing is often the hardest one. Pressure increases. Silence feels heavier. You feel tired. You feel tempted to quit. And that is exactly why you must hold on. The darkest hour really does come before dawn in many lives. God often waits until pride falls silent and surrender becomes complete. When you can say, even now, even here, I still trust you, something breaks open in the spirit. That kind of surrender is powerful. It removes fear from the center. It removes control from your hands and places your future back where it belongs. Then, when the blessing comes, it will not need explanation. It will speak for itself. Doors you never touched will open. Healing will begin where pain once lived. Favor will rise in rooms where you were once ignored. You will not have to beg people to notice. Your change will be visible. Your peace will be visible. Your fruit will be visible. This is how God works. He refines quietly and then reveals openly. But remember, when your heart starts longing less for temporary things and more for purpose, that is another sign that the blessing is near. Real blessing is never just about having more. It is about becoming more useful in the hands of God. You begin to want to serve, to give, to help, to lift others. That matters. God pours through open vessels. He keeps giving where generosity lives. If all you want is comfort, you may miss the deeper gift. But if you are willing to become a channel, not just a container, heaven can trust you with more. This is not about ego, it is about impact. Blessing that stops at you becomes heavy. Blessing that flows through you keeps multiplying. Nothing you went through was wasted. Not the tears, not the lonely nights, not the prayers you could barely finish. God saw all of it. He counted every sigh. He heard what you could not even put into words. And now, if you have been noticing the discomfort, the separation, the clarity, the peace, the stretching, the sudden hunger for more, do not misread those signs. They are not proof that life is falling apart. They are proof that something is being prepared. God often begins by stretching your thinking. He expands what you believe is possible. Because a mind fixed on small limits cannot hold a larger promise. So He lets pressure touch your faith. He lets your old patterns feel too tight. He shows you that the life you settled for is not the life He planned. This stretching can hurt. It feels like confusion at first, but it is enlargement. A small vessel cannot hold a large outpouring. And sometimes before God blesses you, He must confront what you accepted for too long. He calls you out of survival and into significance. He removes what you leaned on so you can learn that His provision is enough. He clears weak foundations so He can build something stronger. Pruning hurts, yes, but only fruitful trees are pruned. So if things are being cut away, do not assume you are cursed. You may be fertile, you may be growing, you may be one season away from seeing why all of this had to happen in exactly this way. Hold that truth close. Do not let temporary pain write a false story over your future. God is still working, and what He is building may be greater than what you first asked for. As the blessing gets closer, your discernment often becomes sharper. You start seeing things as they really are, not as you hoped they were. Old habits begin to disturb your peace. Empty talk feels heavier. Noise becomes tiring. Your spirit becomes sensitive. That is not guilt. That is guidance. God is showing you that the old version of you cannot walk into the new season unchanged. Your heart must grow. Your mind must become disciplined. Your motives must become clean. This is why testing comes. God may test your patience, your humility, your endurance, and your ability to stay kind when no one is applauding you. He may let you be overlooked to see whether bitterness will grow or wisdom will grow. He may ask you to celebrate others while you are still waiting, not to shame you, but to strengthen you. Every test is a gate. Every hard moment is an invitation to rise. And along the way, you may feel a holy restlessness inside, a fire at night, a pull toward prayer, a desire to step back from noise and listen more deeply. Do not ignore that. That inner stirring is often the sound of destiny moving. When you respond with obedience, things begin shifting in ways you cannot see yet. Doors start opening in the unseen. Hearts begin turning in your favor. Help begins moving toward you. People may even say, I do not know why, but I feel led to help you. That is not random. That is confirmation. God does not need permission from people to bless you. He can move through strangers, timing, favor, and unexpected opportunity. When He decides the moment is right, your blessing will not need to be chased. It will find you. And when it finally arrives, remember this. The goal of blessing is not comfort alone. It is purpose. It is impact. It is becoming a living sign of grace in a world full of fear. God does not bless you just so you can say you made it. He blesses you so others can see what faithfulness looks like. He blesses you so healing can flow through your story, so hope can grow in someone else, so goodness can spread farther than your own life. That is why He tests the heart first. He wants to know whether you will use increase to lift others or only to praise yourself. So if you feel the shift now, if you feel the stretch, the pressure, the silence, the inner change, do not resist it. Heaven is not only preparing the blessing for you, heaven is preparing you for the blessing. And when those two meet, nothing can stop what has been appointed for your life. So keep walking, keep praying, keep trusting, keep your heart open and your spirit ready. Your season is closer than it looks. The signs are already here. The door is already near. And when God opens it, walk through with courage, humility, and peace. Say it in your heart if you need to. I am ready. Remove what blocks me. Clean what distracts me. Lead me into what you prepared for me. Live with that kind of surrender, and you will not have to chase favor. Favor will find you. The blessing is not far away, it is already moving. Stay faithful, stay steady, stay ready. What God has written over your life will not miss your name.